Good morning, students. Today we will see the topic events and event handlers in JavaScript. So let's move. First, events. What are events? That any action performed by the user while rendering the web page over a web browser is an event. That means whenever we open the web page over the browser and we perform any kind of action like clicking, double clicking, selecting, deselecting, all these actions are referred as events. The interaction between the user and the web page causes the browser to generate an event. That means whenever we do any kind of action in the browser, that action is taken as an event in a browser. Example: click, double click, select, reset, submit, load, etc. All these are events that occurs on a browser. So here we are having different list of the events that occurs. Here is the table, that is abort, blur, click, change, error, focus, load, mouse out, mouse over, reset, select, submit, unload. So these many events that occurs when we open the page over browser. So abort is loading of image is cancelled, blur, element such as radio button becomes inactive, click, user clicks on the form element. So all this kind of events that occurs, you can refer this list for the further reference. Okay, let's move. Event handlers. Now this is the big question in a script, how these events are tackled, and the answer is through event handlers. Now what are event handlers? Each event is identified by a name called event handler. Means whatever the actions that are the physical actions performed by the user are referred by certain name, that is called event handler name. Event handler names are generally given as an event name prefixed with on. Means suppose I am having an action clicking, so click event is identified by an event handler on click. Means by the event on click what will happen, that we can define. For example, for submit event we have an event handler on submit. Same way all other event handlers are designed. For example, on click, on select, on reset, etc. So these are the event handlers. Now in the script we write the script or the validation script for this event handlers only, not for the event. We are writing the event script for the event handlers. We write a script for the event by referring their corresponding event handler only, and mostly we write functions. We generally define functions to handle that event. Within the function we specify all the tasks we want to perform while the particular event occurs on the browser. Means what should happen if that particular event occurs or that particular event takes place in the browser, right? So all these things we define within certain function, and that function we assign to particular event handler. Next is the if block. See, all these are theoretical part of events and event handlers. When you see the practical part, you will easily understand what are that events and how it will work. Okay, so here we will continue with the if block. The if is used to change the flow of program. The if statement evaluates an expression to validate specific condition. See, here in our form we will be using if condition to validate the data entry into particular control or to validate the selection of particular element in the form, right? So here we will be using if statement to evaluate if the entry which user has done is correct or not. That will be checked by if statement. The if condition gets true, then the program enters into the if block, that is opening and closing curly bracket, and executes the statement inside it. Okay, next is focus method. It is used to apply focus on a particular element of the form. When the user gets an alert calling function method, the cursor will be placed inside the element and particular element will be highlighted. See, when the focus method will be used in the script, when we validate particular control, and if user enters any false entry into it, then obviously it will get an error or it will get an alert message, right? While clicking on the OK button of alert message, particular element should be focused. Suppose any user enters wrong entry in the first name text box. So after getting an alert message, the cursor should be blinking in the first name text box only, right? So to focus that particular element or for particular object, we use focus method. Okay, next is isNaN method. NaN stands for not a number. This function is basically used to check whether the data entered into the control is number or not. If it is not a number, it will return true, and if it is a number, it will return false. This is most important thing. Again I am repeating, if it is a number, it will return false, and if it is not a number, then it will return true. The function isNaN determines whether the value is not a number. It returns true if the value is not a number and false if the value is number. Example, isNaN ABC will return true because ABC is not a number. Same way, isNaN 123 will return false because the value 123 is a number. Okay, so that's all for today's session. Now we will move to practical part. Before that, we will see document object model in next presentation. Okay, so refer this presentation for your event and event handlers. Okay, see you in next presentation. Thank you.